When it comes to religion, most religious people think there are only two alternatives, and they are lost in the world and with a space in your heart like there's no fulfilling cause, or religious, and then you're filled. But that's not the case. A lot of religious people go through a lot of troubles, right, despite being as spiritual as they can. That's why trusting in God is like praying so much, they still go through a lot of things that makes them question things, and that leaves their hearts in an unpeaceful state. So to think that, oh, most people now are not religious are lost, that's a very wrong misconception that religious people have. So the other state that people don't really consider is a state where you are okay with yourself and you know yourself. So when you're in that state, you are content in not knowing, and you are at peace with yourself. You can be in a philosophical state because you think deeply and you arrive at your own conclusions without being bothered about what other people think or whether there's an afterlife or not, or whether you know everything or not. You have learned to accept everything that you know and live with it instead of living in the future, thinking in terms of the future or what will happen after you die. So people who are religious think everybody that is not religious is lost. They don't have self-control. This because they want to be sinful. Nah, there are people who are not religious who are very principled, and this helps them to live their life very comfortably, or in a way that is even probably more sane and more balanced than someone who claims to be religious and claims to have all the answers from God. So there's a state other than you being a drinker, a smoker, or sex addict. You don't have to be all that if you're not religious. From my personal example, I think I'm even more principled than most of the religious people I meet. The fact that I'm not religious does not mean I am out there doing everything I can that's not in the commandments of God. No, no, no. I choose my own principles because I prioritize my excellence, my life, my success. I prioritize making the best of my time here on earth. So that allows me to pick the best principles for me. So the fact that the Bible correlates with some of the principles does not mean, oh, just because it wants you to have self control, that means it's the best religion. No, that's like a very big reach, very big reach. There are so many causes, so many religions that are after your self excellence and success. And the fact that you are not under them does not mean you are not after the same thing. And it does not mean it was directed by a divine God. It's just survival thing, instinct. Animals have it. The fact that animals don't want to die, they want to have children, they want to be happy with or they want to be with their family, they want to be with other animals like them, they want to eat, they want to survive. That's the same thing. So if you have goals to be successful, to make the best of your time and not to be addicted to things, that's the same thing. It doesn't have to come from religion. It can come from your own thinking, your own discipline, because it's a survival thing. You want to survive on earth. So if you go about doing bad, definitely people will want to do bad to you. So you're trying to avoid that. It's common sense. And it doesn't have to come from a religion. It's just survival instinct. It's what everybody has. Every animal has. Everybody wants to survive in the best way they can. So it's common sense to not be a bad person. Because the more good you do, the more good you receive. You're not losing anything from being good. Although you can lose something, but then you're also you're gaining something. Whatever you're losing from being good, you also gain something. Whatever you gain from being bad, you also lose something. And I've weighed the choices and I realized that I prefer what I gain from being good, regardless of whether I get reward in heaven or not. So the other alternative is not recklessness, it's not foolishness, it's not selfishness. It's a balance. You're able to weigh things uh more frankly, instead of being sentimental about some things. You choose your things more intricately, more consciously, instead of just accepting that, oh, this the rules that these people set, that's how it is, and you turn off your brain. Even if some things are not right again. It's through our own thinking, our own thoughts, our own questioning that we are able to arrive to the good we have today, despite religious evils, despite religion telling us to be enslaved or to enslave people. We're the ones that came up with and question things. So if we don't have that ability to question things, despite what religion tells us, then society will not be at this where it is today. So society is where it's at in spite of religion, not because of religion. I don't think they enabled better things to go on. I don't think they made society better. I just think despite the evils of religion, we are better off because everybody naturally has the sense to be good despite what the religion says. So the good that religions bring, they also bring some bad things. Even if it stopped some things somewhere, it also brought some other bad things. There are so many tribes around the world that have always wanted the good of everybody else. That wanted to live in one with nature and not destroy everything and take what they can take without spoiling vegetation and do good to each other. There are so many tribes around the world before the Abrahamic religion took over. It's a natural instinct of man. So to believe that, oh, everybody is always sinful and they're so brutal and there's no love anywhere. How do you think those societies survived? If you think everybody just out there offing each other, that does not make sense. To think that it's just religious that saved them. They wouldn't even last to the point where they came to preach to them. If everybody was just after each other and they were just not sense, they were not kind to each other, they were not sensible. So it's part of survival instinct to be good. That's how humanity is one of the most successful races over animals. Because we have more empathy, we have more ability to work together. So to say that anybody who's not religious is lost and they embrace all the dark things, that is very wrong. It's not just doing good alone. It's also in in being fulfilled, in finding a purpose. So people believe that if you're not religious, you don't have a purpose that is fulfilling. Very wrong. I've learned to live in the moment and to love life and to make the best of everything and to be very positive as much as possible and to act. I know that sitting down too much and thinking too much is part of what makes me feel bad. So I've learned to every day to move my body, to eat right, to have awesome relationships and conversations, and to add to people's freedom, freeing themselves in their mind to contribute positively to other people's lives. And I've found very fulfilling purpose in that. And I don't feel like I need any other thing. But when people that really just see someone else and they be like, oh, because you have something in your heart, Abby, that is missing, you're searching for something. No, bro, I'm okay. I love my balance. I'm not searching for anything. Anything I'm doing, I know it's just part of the balance. Anything I'm seeking, I know that it's part of what is making me alive. Because the more you seek, not like excessively, but the more you have, the more you seek, the more you have reasons to wake up every day. So if you don't have anything you're looking forward to, then you won't have any reason to wake up. So I know that everything is a balance, and I'm not too much to one side. That's why I'm okay. So yeah, there's another alternative. You don't have to be lost. You can be non-religious and be very fulfilled, even way more than most religious people, which I think I am. From what I've seen, from all the conspiracy theories, every like a lot. When I'm coming from a place of being religious, right? There's so many things I used to feel like, oh, these people are part of the end times. I'm always worried that, oh, the God's message are not being spread enough. I'm always worried that, oh, these people are going. I'm always fighting for God. I always feel like, oh, these people, this self righteousness, like, yes, just do the right thing because God is your maker. And I'm always fighting for God. Like, why? Is God not supposed to be the one fighting for himself? Why am I always being the mouthpiece? And I'm always fighting within myself. Like even when I'm praying, sometimes like some things can just come up in my mind, like I'm being blasphemous against God, and I'm angry, like, ooh, why am I? And I'm scared, like, why am I saying that? So there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of um, there's a lot of judgment going on because I'm applying that judgment to myself. So I'm also applying to other people because the words are like, keep guard. The devil is about to come and catch you. So you're always on edge because if you are not on edge, so you won't really be able to keep guard, like they say. So that was the idea, and because of that, I was never as much as I was not as peaceful as I feel now. Now I feel much more balanced. So I don't think the state of being religious, where they say you should always keep guard because some saying is about to come out, fight against your body, all those words. I don't think that's a state of peace and balance. I think you can even attain more peace and balance by being a monk and an atheist and a philosopher because you learn your body and you live in flow with it and you accept it. How can you be fight like being in the world trying to make things happen? It limits you. You're trying to make things happen like you're trying to be uh, a businessman, and there are some things that you do sometimes and maybe you're stressed and you're not thinking, oh, I'm supposed to be religious all the time, and I must not always act I must always be tipped up at shape, and you're not able to pray that moment, and because of that, you start feeling stressed. You can't function very well when you are limited with all these things. Like you won't flow as much as you should do. You won't accept yourself. You're always fighting against yourself in a negative way. You can fight against yourself in a positive way. But this one is what kind of detrimental I feel because it's way limiting and it's less accepting of who you are naturally. Yeah, so people feel like you are religious and then oh yeah, being spiritual and that's the best way to be. Being a Christian, being a whatever religion is the best way to be. Very wrong. The other states that I've tried, I've felt better, and it's been years now. Like how many years? It was like 2017, 18. So let's say 7 years, and I feel like I've been at my best state ever. I've been religious all my life for now. Now I feel like I'm at my best state ever.